Have you ever had a moment where something just felt off, like reality wasn't quite what it seemed? What if everything you know is an illusion? Welcome to Deep Thoughts Daily. Today, we're diving deep into the nature of reality and illusion sound. We'll explore the parallels between the mind-bending world of the Matrix and the ancient philosophical allegory of Plato's cave. Get ready to question everything you think you know. In The Matrix, Neo's discovery begins when he takes the red pill offered by Morpheus. He wakes up in a pod, surrounded by countless others, realizing his entire life has been a lie. Neo has been living in a simulation, hooked up to machines that feed him a false version of reality. The moment he sees the real world, a desolate wasteland, he understands the gravity of his choice. There's no going back from this revelation. Over 2,000 years earlier, the philosopher Plato told a strikingly similar story. In his Allegory of the Cave, prisoners are chained in a dark cave facing a wall. Behind them, real objects move in front of a fire, casting shadows. To the prisoners, the shadows are reality. That's all they know. Plato's Allegory of the Cave is one of the most profound metaphors in Western philosophy. It is a story that has been interpreted in various ways over the centuries, but its core message remains timeless. Imagine a group of prisoners who have been confined in a dark cave since birth. They are chained in such a way that they can only see the wall in front of them. They cannot turn their heads or move their bodies. Behind them there is a fire, and between the fire and the prisoners there is a raised walkway. People outside the cave walk along this walkway, carrying objects that cast shadows on the wall of the cave. The prisoners, having never seen the real objects, perceive the shadows as the only reality. They give names to these shadows and believe them to be the only things that exist. The prisoner's understanding of reality is limited to the shadows on the wall. They are unaware of the true source of these shadows and the objects that create them. This scenario represents the human condition in a state of ignorance. According to Plato, the cave symbolizes the world of appearances, where people are trapped by their limited perceptions and false beliefs. The shadows on the wall represent the illusions and misconceptions that people take for reality. The prisoners' lives are monotonous and devoid of any true understanding. They spend their days discussing the shadows, creating elaborate theories about their nature, and even competing to predict which shadow will appear next. Their entire existence is based on these fleeting images, and they are completely unaware of the rich and vibrant world that lies just beyond the cave. One day, a prisoner is freed and allowed to leave the cave. At first, he is blinded by the light outside and can only see shadows. Gradually, his eyes adjust to the brightness, and he begins to see the objects that cast the shadows. Eventually, he is able to look at the sun, which represents the ultimate truth and knowledge. The freed prisoner realizes that the shadows on the wall were mere illusions and that the true reality exists outside the cave. The journey of the freed prisoner symbolizes the philosopher's quest for knowledge and enlightenment. It is a difficult and often painful process, as it requires questioning long-held beliefs and stepping out of one's comfort zone. However, it is only through this journey that one can attain true understanding and wisdom. Plato's Allegory of the Cave also highlights the importance of education and the role of the philosopher. The philosopher, having seen the true reality, has a responsibility to return to the cave and help free the other prisoners. This task is not easy, as the prisoners may resist and even reject the philosopher's insights. They may be so accustomed to the shadows that they cannot comprehend the existence of a reality beyond the cave. Nevertheless, the philosopher must persevere in guiding others towards enlightenment. The philosophical implications of the Allegory of the Cave are vast. It challenges us to consider the nature of reality and the limitations of our perceptions. It suggests that true knowledge comes from understanding the deeper truths that lie beyond the surface. The allegory also raises questions about the nature of education and the responsibilities of those who have attained enlightenment. It encourages us to think critically about our beliefs and to seek out the truth, even if it is uncomfortable or difficult to accept. In modern times, Plato's Allegory of the Cave continues to resonate with people from all walks of life. It serves as a powerful reminder of the limitations of our perceptions and the importance of seeking deeper truths. Whether in the realm of science, politics, or personal growth, the allegory encourages us to question our assumptions and strive for a greater understanding of the world around us. The Allegory of the Cave is not just a story about ancient prisoners, it is a timeless metaphor for the human condition. It challenges us to look beyond the surface and seek the underlying truths that shape our reality. In doing so, we can break free from the chains of ignorance and embrace the light of knowledge and wisdom. But what happens when one prisoner escapes? He's blinded at first, but slowly he sees the fire, the objects, and finally, the sun, the ultimate truth. When he returns to tell the others, they don't believe him. They are comfortable in the illusion. Imagine being confined in a dark cave for your entire life, chained in such a way that you can only see the wall in front of you. Shadows dance on this wall, cast by objects behind you, illuminated by a fire. These shadows are your reality. You and your fellow prisoners have never seen the actual objects of the fire or the world outside the cave. The shadows are all you know, and you accept them as the ultimate truth. Now picture one prisoner breaking free from his chains. At first he's disoriented and blinded by the light of the fire. His eyes, accustomed to the darkness, struggle to adjust. He feels pain and confusion, unsure of what he's seeing. The fire's light is harsh and overwhelming, making him want to retreat back into the familiar darkness. But as he perseveres, he begins to see the fire and the objects that cast the shadows. This is a revelation. His understanding of reality is shattered and rebuilt. The shadows on the wall were mere illusions, and now he sees the true forms. Driven by curiosity and a newfound sense of freedom, he ventures further. He finds the exit of the cave and steps outside. The sunlight is overwhelming, far brighter than the fire inside the cave. It takes time, but eventually he can look at the world around him. He sees colors, shapes, and life in a way he never imagined. The sun, the source of all light and life, represents the ultimate truth and knowledge. Eager to share his discovery, he returns to the cave to free the others. But when he tells them about the world outside, they scoff at him. They are comfortable in their ignorance, in the familiar shadows. They can't comprehend the reality he describes, and they resist his attempts to enlighten them. To them he seems mad, and his words are the ramblings of a deluded mind. This allegory, known as Plato's Allegory of the Cave, illustrates the journey from ignorance to enlightenment. It challenges us to question our perceptions and seek the deeper truths beyond the shadows. Are we content with the illusions on the wall, or do we dare to step into the light and discover the world beyond? Sound familiar? Morpheus offers Neo a choice. Blue pill, go back to comfort and illusion. Red pill, face the painful, liberating truth. And this choice delves deep into our psyche. The blue pill represents the allure of ignorance and the safety of the known. The red pill, however, symbolizes the courage to confront reality no matter how harsh. Plato would have handed him that red pill too, urging us to seek enlightenment over complacency. Plato and the Matrix ask the same haunting question. Are we seeing reality or just shadows on a wall? And if we discover the truth, well, would we want it? Or would we cling to the illusion because it's easier? Plato's Allegory of the Cave is one of the most profound philosophical metaphors ever conceived. Imagine prisoners who've been chained inside a dark cave for their entire lives. They are bound in such a way that they can only see the wall in front of them. Behind them a fire burns, and between the fire and the prisoners there is a parapet along which puppeteers can walk. The puppeteers who are behind the prisoners cast shadows on the wall of the cave. The prisoners, unable to see these puppeteers, perceive the shadows as the only reality they know. Now consider The Matrix, a modern cinematic masterpiece that explores similar themes. In this film, humans live in a simulated reality created by intelligent machines to subdue the human population. The protagonist, Neo, discovers that the world he knows is an illusion, a computer-generated dream designed to keep him and others enslaved. Both Plato's Cave and The Matrix challenge us to question the nature of our reality. Are we, like the prisoners in the cave, only seeing shadows of the true forms? Are we, like Neo, living in a constructed illusion? And if we were to uncover the truth, would we embrace it, or would we find comfort in the familiar shadows? The journey to uncovering the truth is fraught with difficulty and discomfort. For the prisoners in the cave, stepping out into the light is a painful process. Their eyes, accustomed to the darkness, are blinded by the brightness of the sun. Similarly, Neo's awakening is not without its trials. He must confront the harsh reality of his existence and the responsibilities that come with his newfound knowledge. Yet the pursuit of truth is a noble endeavor. It requires courage, curiosity, and a willingness to face the unknown. It asks us to look beyond the surface, to question what we see, and to seek a deeper understanding of the world around us. Philosophers like René Descartes have also delved into the nature of reality. In his Meditations on First Philosophy, Descartes famously questioned the certainty of everything he believed, ultimately concluding that the only thing he could be sure of was his own existence. I think, therefore I am. Similarly, the thought experiment known as the brain in a vat posits that a brain could be kept alive in a vat and fed false experiences by a computer. This raises the question, how can we be sure that our experiences are real and not artificially generated? The Matrix takes this idea further by presenting a world where humans are unknowingly trapped in a simulated reality. Neo's journey mirrors the philosophical quest for truth, challenging us to consider the possibility that our own reality might be an elaborate illusion. So the question remains, if we discovered the truth, would we want it, or would we cling to the illusion because it's easier? The answer lies within each of us, in our capacity to seek and embrace the truth, no matter how challenging it may be. Maybe reality isn't what we think. Philosophers like Descartes have questioned the nature of our existence, suggesting that our senses can deceive us. Scientists, too, explore the boundaries of perception and consciousness. Perhaps questioning our reality is the first step to waking up. To truly understand, we must look beyond the surface and seek deeper truths. If you enjoyed this mind-bending dive, hit like, subscribe, and join us next time for more Deep Thoughts Daily. Today we explored the parallels between The Matrix and Plato's Cave, questioning the nature of reality and illusion. Reflect on your own perceptions and consider, what is real and what is merely a shadow? Because sometimes the biggest questions are hidden in plain sight.